Welcome back, guys, to CHG podcast. Say hi, David.
What's up, guys?
That's David. Did you know that's David? That's his name's
That
David.
is me.
That's
Or
him.
is it?
It's
Did you
not.
did you two-step verify me?
Hold on, let me get my phone out real quick so I can do the push notification. Boop 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 boop. Yes, I verified that is David. That is David right there. If I was cool with special effects, I would have done it on the screen, but I don't know how to do that. So, yeah, my name is RJ. That's David, the CHG podcast, Casual Hardcore Gamers. Welcome back. Welcome back. I know we've been gone for a couple weeks, but that is okay.
I've been fucking busy with school.
Because school's actually becoming properly hard like it's supposed to be for David.
Yeah.
So he's been sleazing by, but not
My
anymore.
natural smartness is
with his natural gifts of
I
intelligence.
have to read now and
he
shit.
actually has to read. He actually has to pay attention.
I pay attention. I always pay attention to class. I just don't ever read fully the material.
And he has to properly do proper math courses now, finally. And
I mean, sort of. Like I'm using the quadratic formula and foiling, but I don't know if you can call that real math.
No, that's proper math. That is like I remember doing that. That is proper math. It may be years before what you're at now, but it is proper math. Foiling, factoring, quadratic formula. At least those are things that I know.
Imaginary numbers.
Yeah, I numbers. I see this dude was doing stuff before that you've never. This type of math you've never seen before. Like
it was weird.
Some of the most strangest applications of math I've ever seen. And I'm a math minor, so I mean that was surprising to me. But anywho, welcome back, guys. This is a podcast where we talk about games. So in the industry itself, the games. We try to be fun, try to be funny, try to be intellectual. It doesn't usually happen, but we try. Anyways, guys, so we're starting like we always do, what we were playing. And man, it's been so long, I don't even have the full list of shit I've been playing. But I will say that I finished Nier, that like completely, got the platinum for that. I don't know if I mentioned that before. So that's done. Got all 4 of the endings that are in the PS3 version.
Yeah, so you said that last time.
Yep. Okay, wrap that up. And then I had downloaded some on my PS4. I downloaded some more like indies titles, right? Because I have a whole fucking laundry list of them. But I was looking for some racing ones, and that I had. And man, oh man! So the first one was called Super Knight Riders, and I remember liking this one. I remember like thinking, oh, this one doesn't seem half bad. So I played it, and I appreciate what it is doing. So it's trying to be a imitation of like the old school like Super Hang-On, from way back in the day, where it's literally you just drive your motorbike across the different various terrain, trying to hit the checkpoints, avoiding riders, staying on the course. And then as you keep going, like the timers get a little, like the time restraints get a little more strict, but like the scenery changes if you get far enough. I remember playing Super Hang-On on PC. Actually, I think it was a PC port as part of like some little like track pack compilation disc that I had that had like all 3 of the Sonics, Super Hang-On, Vector Man, and like some other games that I don't even remember. But I remember playing Super Hang-On and liking it a lot. Never really got far because I was a kid. But anyways, this was basically like that. But that is literally all it is. That is all it is, right? It must have been like $2 when I bought it or something like that. But so like I'm playing that. I got the platinum in an hour and a half.
I mean, it's an small indie game.
Well, not all indies are like that. Some indies are, but some indies aren't. But I didn't know that was going to be the case, because all it is just there's 6 courses, and then there is a giant course at the end that does all 6 of them, and then they separated all 6 of those courses into six sections of themselves within themselves, and they have that separated into another set of drive rides to do as well. But like I said, I got through all of that in an hour and a half. I mean, it was okay. Like I get it, because there's a huge debate among trophy hunters about like, should these games even exist? Like some people like to be more and have a little more integrity and be like, these are fucking like shovelware. This is crap, right? Like,
games.
Don't even do this. Like, why are you doing this? Sony should be more strict with this type of stuff, not allowing this in. But like, and I can see people making the claim for this game, but I was thinking, you know what though? It's I could see it's at least trying to like pay some kind of an homage to what, to Super Hang-On. And that game wasn't very robust. That's all it was, right? And that's all this is going to be too. And so I was like, okay, yeah, super, super fast platinum, not much, bare bones to the core, but like it was $2. And I knew what they were trying to do. At least this had a purpose. It had like an intent. So I finished that. And I got done with this other one called Super Street, the game, and it was more of an import tuner style racing game.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah.
You might have seen it at restaurants and the little kiosks, game kiosk things. Do you guys have that in Texas?
Actually, you know what? Maybe I have.
That's where I've seen it, in the little game things. I don't know if you guys have in other countries, but in the U.S., in some restaurants like Applebee's or Olive Garden or something like that, instead of paying with a cashier, you can pay at this little tablet looking thing.
Yeah.
But it can also play games. You can order food on it, and in amongst the game, I remember one time, I forget where I was at, I saw Super Street on that thing, and I was like, oh no. So that's what this. I'm like, I'm afraid it's about to be some kind of like auto racer, right? You just press a button to go or something. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's a regular game controller, R2 go, L2 stop, or whatever. And there's like a small little upgrade system, but it is so import tuner. And also it is so indie. Like you have to there's a loading screen to load up the start screen, and you press start, and then there's another loading screen to load up the garage. It just loading screens on top of loading screens. I'm just like, I mean, what do I expect? It's an indie game for, I don't know how much it was.
You're bucks. At the start screen. It says go. Then there's a loading screen.
Yeah, it had to load up everything. It's just hilarious. But like, you can get these crew members as you progress through the career. They're all women. Keep that in mind. All women.
Representation.
Naturally. Absolutely. No black women though, so I don't know how far that went. But like. But they don't do anything. Like they have names, but they don't do anything. Like there's no buff you get. There's no perks. There's no buffs. There's nothing.
The perk is having a strong woman on your team. You fucking misogynist. Misogynist. There you go. Fucking couldn't say the right thing.
Well, it's like, okay, so the first chick you unlock is like some like. I can't remember her title. It was like as if it was like a football.
Of course, you would forget a female's title.
Like a coordinator, like a football, like an offense coordinator that has X's and O's on a whiteboard and stuff like that. But somehow for cars and racing, I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, they have strategists and stuff like that too.
She's there, and then the next person, I don't know the order, but like there's the one chick you unlock who like is the IT chick, who just messes around with computers, but she doesn't do anything. But she has no socks or shoes on, and I don't know why. And then there's like a bunch of other chicks that start walking around. There's like a marketing chick. She was the only Asian, but she was like a marketing chick, and she is just in some pumps and some Daisy Dukes. And then you unlock a secretary, but of course the secretary has like a short skirt, some thigh-high stockings with a garter and everything. I'm just like, I get it. This is import, and I've seen the import tuner magazines. That's still a thing.
Perfect zone ratio.
Like that's still a thing, right? Having hot ass women modeling with the cars. I get it. But man, it is just on the nose. Is just on the nose.
So this is kind of related. I was watching Donut Media, and they were giving this their car guys.
Okay.
And they were doing this history. They call them bumper to bumpers of this one like American supercar company back in like the 70s or 80s or something. And at a car show, at like the car show back then, they advertised their new car, and they advertised it with a totally nude lady just laying on the car and shit. And I'm just like, man, the fucking
at the show, right?
At the show,
in person.
It was media. It was a media show. Like it wasn't even fucking like a show for the public, like a public showing. It was just a media showing, and just like had these naked, just fully nude chick just posing with the cars. And I was like,
you said this is the 70s, right?
Yeah, 70s or 80s. I was like, dude, the 70s were fucking different.
If it was the 70s, you also know she most likely had just a big old bush too. Just because that was the thing back then. That was the thing. Just like, dude. Oh my.
So yeah, that just reminded me of like, yeah, females and cars have been linked together since the dawn of time. You gotta think yes. when the caveman invented the wheel, he was just like when he showed his buddies, he just had his wife just naked holding it, and all of his guys are like, yeah, wheel good, wheel good.
Me take four. Four wheel.
And that's how the car was born, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, so I'm almost done with it. They stupidly added online trophies, which I don't understand why indie racer, any indie anything would add online trophies to this to anything.
To
Like,
make a reason
so
for people to play it online.
I found a group, but we've had yet to coordinate enough people because you need 4 people to get one of the trophies, which is like, oh my gosh. So yeah, but that's pretty much done. And then I went back to this old game I started months ago, earlier this year, called Alchemist Adventure, which I stopped. What are you looking at, David? He is smiling too hard. What
Look,
is he looking
look, I
at?
got blue light, and I have regular light,
Yes,
and I
yes,
have
yes. You do have
when I
blue
have
light.
the. Sorry.
Oh, you're messing with the camera light.
Yeah.
He's messing with the light
Sorry.
because he
Continue.
doesn't have one at home, so he's having fun with that. So I started this old game I started before months ago called Alchemist Adventure, which I stopped playing because it was really convoluted. Um, and it's more of it's like an alchemy potion based thing. So you create potions. That's integral to the combat and everything. Is using all these elements, metals, and stuff to create these potions that can do damage. Now there's a quick list or whatever to make just basic ones that using because each one has to have a element, either fire, water, air, or earth at its core, and then from there you can add either more of those basic elements or you can add metals or other things, and they have you can have 6 linked up into one potion, and they'll create when any 2 are connected, it'll create a certain side effect, whether positive or negative. And then but those 6, you can have up to 6 of those, and they stack, and you have a little list that shows you all the buffs or debuffs you have, but like it's not clearly defined or explained that well, and not all the debuffs and buffs are listed in there's like a little small list of what things you can create, but like, and even then it doesn't, the examples it gives, it doesn't make it, I had to find out the hard way that like, yes, they give specific elements or whatever's as examples, but like it doesn't have to be those exact ones. It's showing you, so like they could explain that better, like categorically this is what you need to make this, but they don't say that, they just actually use specific things. Now one of them for healing does need a specific element, but some of the other ones don't, and so it's like, oh, okay. So I was confused when I was adding one thing, and I was like, wait, how did I get that buff? I thought I needed this, and it's like, oh, it seems to be just it's using that category. And so it's just, these are some of the trappings of having, not only is it indie, but it's also, it's not made from the US. I forget what country these people are from, but so I could tell there was a language barrier in their explanations for things, because they probably didn't have like a proper localizer, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
They probably used the English that they knew to translate
Google
everything over.
Translate.
It's okay, but like it could have been, if it was made with a proper localizer or in the US, it would have been way better explained. And so I actually stopped playing it for a while, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going back to this when I actually really want to play this again. And so I was like, okay, I think this is the time. So I finally got into it. I was like, okay, let's rewind. Let's take another fresh look. I leave my save file and everything and started straight from fresh again. And I finally got the hang of it, finally got a hold of it. And so I started playing, and I beat the whole thing. It's not really an RPG per se. I think they're going down that route, but like it's not really, maybe light RPG element, because you have different like armors you can find and different different swords that can give you more attack or defense. You have to kind of choose, mix and match. So I guess there's a tiny bit of RPG in there, but not much. But it is a full fledged game. Like if you're going for everything in the game, it can take like 6 to 10 hours, right?
Mm.
Which is good for an indie title. So I was appreciative of the help it gave, and I think I mentioned this before, that like there was a dude in the Discord who was giving proper help to people who asked for
Yeah.
it, and like that's a round of applause right there. Like
A real bro.
this game came out, yeah, for this game that came out 2-3 years ago, you're still giving out help to people.
Yeah.
Like when you've clearly moved on from this game is like very much, that's very admirable. So big kudos for that. I finally finished it yesterday, as a matter of fact, when we're recording this, and I'm so done with it. I had to play through the game 3 times to get all the upgrades for the armors and shit,
Mm.
and it's just, oh my gosh, I'm happy I'm done with it. I appreciate the effort, but man, if they said at the end that her story is not done yet. I was like, well, if it is, you better fix some shit, because there is so much here that just is so annoying and cumbersome or convoluted, and it's just, oh my gosh. And the whole potion thing needs to be way more streamlined and more simple for sure. Anyway, so that's done. And so I moved on my PS3, back my PS3 again. I finally got Dark Souls in the mail. proper Dark Souls, and I'm talking the remaster. I'm talking the OG from 2010, the PS3 version. Because I'm preparing that. I'm playing this. So I can get prepared to play it on stream sometime. So I was only playing a little bit of it when I was on my work trip. Fuck, that game is so it's man, we've come a long way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep.
We've come a long way. That Dark Souls is the first one. It's so fucking clunky and slow and just oh my gosh. Like I was playing. I was like, I know this is hard, but this just seems like just annoying. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
the step that they
man.
took from 1 to 2. I know 2 isn't liked that much, but it's so much it's so much better, like
Mhm.
mechanically and visually than the first one.
Yeah, one visually, Dark Souls one visually just looks like Demon Souls, and it makes sense because they only came out a year apart from each other.
Yeah, like the UI is
So
just weird
and
looking.
everything on this game is just so. I'm just like we have come such a long fucking way.
Yeah.
So it just made me wish I was playing Neo. I'm not gonna lie to you, I just wanted to play Neo so bad. I was like, this is just like it's all right. Like, and I mean, it's probably also because it's open world now instead of the Demon Souls where it was kind of like level based in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is because the worlds themselves are connected. Like the 3 or 4 stages in that world are connected.
Mm.
Like you can just continue on to the next section, right? But they are sectionalized and the worlds themselves are self-contained. So I mean, there is that to keep in mind too. And I know this is now open world, so I got to figure that out. And it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm also like I played it first as a cleric. I'm just fucking around. I don't know what's going on, right? I'm just playing as a cleric, and that wasn't going well. I mean, I got through the first boss, but like, and I was like, I'm like dying to these skeletons way too much. This is ridiculous. So I deleted that. I was like, okay, the trophy guide recommends doing pyromancy. So I was like, okay, I'll just be a pyromancer, see how that goes. A lot better. I'll say that. A lot better. The fire is a bit OP starting off. Um, but I'm a little confused because I looked this up and I get it, but it's like, man, the difference in the roles seems very, very drastic. Like when you first start off, you have that really good role, really, really good role. But as soon as you add on like a few pounds to your weight limit, your slow does change. I read online that you're supposed to get the same iframes as the best roll, but this roll just I don't know what it is. It just feels like it's so much worse.
Well,
I
you
don't.
cover less ground. You get the same iframes, but you cover less ground,
Yeah, okay, that's maybe what it is.
and
It
it's
just seems
slower
worse.
and the
And
same
well, yeah, obviously it's
iframe.
slower. Obviously it's slower, but like it just seems so drastically slower though. That's the thing. Like I'm just like, yo, what the heck? Because it's like, how am I supposed to make a good build when I have such a shitty roll? It's I
Yeah,
don't know. It
yeah.
just
Well,
seems.
like with yeah, I could go on for this, but yeah.
I don't know if it gets better. I hope it gets better as the series
Well,
goes
you
on
have
because
to.
man,
I mean, the role
this
pretty
is
much
rough.
stays the same.
Okay.
So you just have to decide whether you want to put points into. I can't remember in one what your equip load is tied to, but you know,
Yeah, I forgot the name of it. I think it's either strength or
vitality,
endurance. I think
maybe
no, I
endurance.
think endurance.
They change it like every game.
Why are you changing shit?
Like yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. It just made me appreciate the pace of Neo even more, which is probably why when I do eventually get to Bloodborne and Elden Ring, I'm gonna enjoy it because of the pace. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is the pacing. I really do like it, like Neo's a bit faster pace. Um, but I'm still gonna get, I'll also get through. I am gonna play them all, finish them all, platinum them all, no matter how fucking long it takes. Which I have a feeling this one's gonna take a long time.
Elden Ring, I
So yeah,
can't imagine how long that's gonna take the platinum. There's so much
at
shit.
least it'll be more fun
There's so
because
much
it's
shit in
faster.
Elden Ring.
There is true. That is very much true. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I will eventually play it on stream. And then I'm also eventually, but I did go back to Neo because now that I finished the game, I'm going to Neo to do another 50 floors in that Abyss end game. I'm on floor 480 now. I will stop when I get to 500 and then play some, let it go for a bit. But I'm going to download that Wolong Fallen Dynasty demo that's available on PS5. I'm gonna download that and give that a go, and see how that is. I'm really excited to play that. There's a whole lot of these now more faster paced Souls-like games or action RPG games, which I am very much appreciative of.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the Wolong one, the one that the guys from Team Ninja who made Neo, they have their new one, another Japan based one, I believe. The one with the monkey,
Yeah, the monkey.
one,
Yeah,
that one looks. Oh, I
looks
can't wait for
cool,
that
yeah.
one. That one's gonna be great. I don't know if it's still made by just that one guy, but holy crap, that one looks impressive for sure. And then we got the Solstice game that just came out where you play as like you have like your sister's like a spirit or something or whatever. You got Steel Rising that just dropped, which is another one kind of set in that forget what period, but France, that old time France period. I think the same. I think this French Revolution, maybe, I don't know, but that one was kind of cool.
One.
And of course, Liza P, which I am pumped for Liza P, which that seems to be more faster too. So, yeah, I'm appreciative of it. I mean, I think that's what this is going to be now. We're not going to get more of that that slower paced old school Dark Souls.
Yeah,
I think for some time, which I'm all for. Like it's just so fucking slow, so slow. But anyways, yeah. So that's where I'm at. Have you even had time to play games?
Yeah,
David?
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was surprised. My Lord and Savior Game Pass surprised me with a gift.
Check it off your bingo marks, everybody.
Deathloop came to Game Pass.
Oh yeah, you guys got it finally.
And just randomly, I don't know if this was advertised somewhere else that Deathloop was going to come to Xbox, but I thought it was going to be an exclusive. Like, it was weird. Like, I was like, Arcane isn't normally an exclusive, but I hadn't heard anything about it coming to Xbox. But then it just was.
You must have missed it then.
Yeah, I probably did. I'm not in the space the same.
It was always a time exclusive for like 6 months or so. They didn't like keep on telling you, reminding you.
It seemed like it was been longer than 6 months. No, you think the Kung Fu game will be the same way?
Sifu?
Because I really
wait, is that actually exclusive?
I don't know. It isn't on Xbox right now, so I hope we get to play Sifu because I love Sifu. The Sifu game looks awesome. But
hold on, you can keep talking.
I played some Deathloop, like the first I got to like the first real level, and but then I had to go do homework, so I'm gonna have to leave that for after everything cools down. But I went and mowed my sister's yard and got some money to go buy NBA 2K13. So been playing that. And that's it's fun. I'm geeking out over it because we talked about it on the
Jordan's back.
We talked about it on the last podcast, but basically they put in eras mode where you can go back to like different eras of basketball, and they have like mostly good rosters. Like there are some people missing here and there, people they couldn't get licenses for, and it is really annoying. Like going through and like knowing that someone should be in that draft class. And like important people, like I would have loved if it was 100%, like having everyone down to the last guy that played in the NBA for like 2 days. Like I, as like a historian lover of basketball, would love that. I'd freak out over that. But like some of them, they're missing like in the 2007 draft, I believe. There's a guy named Brandon Roy. He from UW. He got drafted on the Trailblazers. He's really good. He won the Rookie of the Year that year. They don't have him. And it's really annoying that they don't have him just because he is from UW. So he's going to be one of the guys I like. And he won the Rookie of the Year, but it's licensing issues and stuff like that. But it is really cool as like a historian of basketball, a lover. I shouldn't say historian because it's not like I'm actually doing research, but a lover of the history of basketball, going to like, the 70s and going to a team and seeing like the third person off the bench on like the Milwaukee Bucks and being like, oh yeah, like I know that guy, and he like was just a role player in the 70s, but yet I know him. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I've obviously I've been playing as the Sonics, and I vetoed their move to OKC, so it's been giving me some therapy. It's been nice. I gotta see.
I'm sure you're not alone.
I gotta see.
Have you seen people?
I gotta see Gary Payton and Sean Kemp retire as Sonics and get their jerseys retired, and yeah, I felt it. So. Good.
Have you seen anyone on Twitch or YouTube like
no, like
that's
kind of what prompted me to like go and find the money to buy it. It's because I got on YouTube and nobody was doing it. Like no one was taking.
Bro, where are you then, bro? Where are you? Get on you, dude.
After that shit,
put that on the channel. We want it on the channel. Get it? No, I don't even gotta do shit. Just hook up the recording. That's it. You don't gotta do nothing else. Just record it and maybe talk. If it gets your audio, it gets your audio. Who cares?
We'll see. But anyway,
get it on. Yeah,
so that's been fun. Been doing that, and then things like Persona and stuff come out. I think next month. But I'm gonna be so busy with fucking anime next month that I don't even know if I'll give a shit because anime is about to get fucking real next month. We're talking fucking My Hero's back, Spy Family season 2.
Oh wait, already?
Fucking Chainsaw Man. Oh, Chainsaw Man is about to be.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about Chainsaw Man. I've been seeing it, and I was like, "What do you know about this Chainsaw Man?"
It's gonna be. Gonna be like. So you know about like Demon Slayer, right?
I know of it, yeah.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen.
Another one I just know of. Yeah,
it's gonna be at least as big, if not bigger than those. It's in a weird spot because like. So Demon Slayer is still very like marketable because there's the cute little sister and they are like younger teens, so it's more marketable. You can sell chibis and shit. Jujutsu Kaisen is a little bit less so. They're older high schooler, maybe even they're high schoolers, yeah, but they're a little bit older. It's more a seinen, so it's a little bit more mature. Like they still sell chibi shit and stuff like that, so it's still marketable. This is even more like they're adults. And it's way gory, like so. I don't know if it'll be as like mass popular as Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, but from everything I've read and seen, it's gonna be ridiculous, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of stuff about it too. I've been meaning to ask you about it. It's nice to know that they're adults. That's nice.
Yeah, I believe so. I haven't read the manga. All I've done is like listen to people talk about it and kind of seen screenshots and stuff of it. But I believe they're adults. And then also on more anime news, because I don't have as much games to talk about as RJ did. On more anime news, the guys who did Gurren Lagann and fucking the one where the girls fight with clothing.
Kill la Kill?
Kill la Kill, thank you. Those guys are doing they did a Netflix exclusive anime of Cyberpunk.
Oh yes.
And it's supposedly
people love it. People said this is better than the game.
So like the anime guy I watched Mother's Basement, he loves Gurren Lagann, he loves Kill la Kill, like it's some of his favorite animes of all time. He says this is better than Gurren Lagann. Gurren Lagann is like fucking GOAT status anime. It is amazing, and he's like this is better. So like I gotta find time to fucking watch that because that's crazy talk to say that something is is better than Gurren Lagann. So yeah.
Well then, well that's what we're doing.
I'm about to have a lot of fucking anime to watch.
David's having nerdgasms left and right over here. I'm just having frustrations left and right with Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But what else is new? Anyway, so this week, guys, we're going to kind of do a little round robin because there's been a whole bunch of little small news, things that kind of big, not really big, but just interesting to talk about and speak on. So I first wanted to bring up the fact that let's start with the big one, the GTA 6 leak. How much do you care about this leak? Because I didn't care at all.
0%.
It's not just because I don't care about GTA.
Like we're talking math. We'll go the square root of -9, so 3i. That's how much I care.
3i. Well, then you have 3 imaginary cares.
Yeah, which do you know what
Okay.
that adds up to? 0 fucks. That's you set that equal to 0 fucks, and that's how many
excuse
fucks
me,
I
sir.
gave.
Excuse me, sir. I'm a math minor, and I have to oppose that equation. I don't believe that is what that is. That equals at all. But I understand your point. It's not just because we don't care about GTA. It's just, I mean, leaks happen on like a monthly, week, whatever, regular basis. And yes, is this for GTA 6? And yes, it did reveal a lot of things. But like, given that this game is still probably a couple years out, so much of this could change
Well, yeah, and
or not even be.
that's what I think is ridiculous, and that's why I don't care. Is that people are like, "Oh, this game looks like shit." Like, no fucking duh. It's like,
Yeah, it's probably still an alpha. It's
yeah,
probably still in an
it's
alpha phase.
barely a concept. Like, and
Yeah,
here's my thing. Here's the thing that I think is actually a good thing. I'm glad it looks bad because that means that maybe they're probably like redoing their engine and like building it from at least building it up again. You
yeah,
know, if it looked just like Grand Theft Auto 5, then they're just going to be then they'd use the same engine and stuff. So this hopefully means that they're, you know, at least rebuilding the engine and upgrading it enough to where they did need to break it down to you know, nuts and bolts level. So I don't know.
yeah. Because if they didn't do that, if you're going down the Fallout route, which is another bingo card point you guys can talk about, the fucking creation engine that's not upgraded.
Yeah.
I can't. I still. It's been a while since I brought it up, but I still just blows my
Can't
mind that
wait for
they just
fucking Elder Scrolls 6 on the creation engine.
on the creation engine from 2014 or whatever, with next gen system. Oh my. Anyway, so yeah, at least they're taking the time to rebuild that. Which when you rebuild it, I imagine that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know, we have to redo everything, new assets, new everything with the new engine. So yeah, so not only did that, yeah. I think the biggest thing was just like it's so far out. Like we don't like. Yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a deal when it got leaked, and so and for you guys, honestly, whatever if you guys happen to see the video where they leaked the shit, remember that's all grain of salt. I'd imagine half of that probably won't even be in the final game. Because like I said, this game's probably not out for a couple years, 2 years minimum. Because this is GTA, they don't care about you or when you want a game.
I
They
don't
only
give a
care
fuck
when it
about
is ready.
you.
Yeah, like remember how long it took from 4 to 5? 4 came out in 08. 5 came out in 2013.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I
So
have something I want to talk about in a
okay, well hold
second.
on. And then Red Dead Redemption, that took almost 10 years to come out with a sequel. So they don't care about you or when you want it. They'll
They
release it
don't
when they
give
want to
a
release
fuck
it. So
about you.
but in my opinion, based off our history with GTA, I honestly don't see it coming minimum of 2 years from now.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be the last game on the PS5 and Xbox Series X's life cycle. Anyway, so
So this is
what
kind of
inspired?
related,
What got inspired? What got inspired in
adjacently
your head?
related. So I've been
Okay,
seeing a lot of these comparison videos
of
between
what?
not well, they've been doing it from comparing it to Grand Theft Auto 5, but then they were like, no, let's not even compare it to Grand Theft Auto 5. Let's compare it to Grand Theft Auto 4. Of comparing Grand Theft Auto 4 with the new Saints Row.
Oh,
It's like,
let's talk
what
about
did they
Saints Row. Let's
fucking
talk about
do to my baby?
let's talk
Like,
about Saints Row. Yes, yes.
okay,
Thank you for bringing that up.
so I haven't played it because like I heard it was fucking awful, and I was like, never mind. I don't like. I'm not gonna play it. Cool, sweet. Thanks for saving me time. But then I started seeing the videos of they have like a side by side of like, you know, of the Grand Theft Auto 5 guy walking like towards a train coming towards him, and then the protagonist of Saints Row having a train come towards them, and it hits the Grand Theft Auto guy, and he's ragdolling and just like dies, and then the Saints Row guy just keeps on walking into the train as it pushes him down the track and eventually just turns. Like, it doesn't do anything to him. Like, you can run into a train, or like they did one where they were like launched themselves off a ramp in a car and they jumped out of the car. And of course, in Grand Theft Auto, you go ragdoll, you fall and stuff. And in fucking Saints Row, you just fall and you just land, and you're just like, what's up? So
Hold up.
like, I don't know. Like, of course, I
Okay,
haven't
let's
played.
talk about.
I haven't played any of the rest of the game, but just like it seems like
I'm glad you brought that up.
they didn't
I forgot all
do
about that.
a lot of
So
shit.
I want to bring that you brought up a big point. I want to bring up not just for Saints Row, but just so Saints Row is now owned by what's called the Embracer Group, I believe. They're like the parent company.
Embrace
That
fucking
holds them.
mediocrity.
Uh, so, but not. So here's the thing: they recently had a sales call, earnings call, or whatever, recently, and so two things came out of it. One, the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands did phenomenal for them, at least
It
financially,
was good.
to the point where it has now become a new franchise for them. They are now considering it a franchise where there will be more games in this world, which is like okay. I mean, the game didn't review that well. I mean, it reviewed okay. It was like, hey, it's more
It's
Borderlands.
Borderlands 3
It's
Tiny
it's
Tina,
yeah,
edition.
it's just a giant version of Tiny Tina's, Borderlands 2 add-on, but just as a full game in the Borderlands 3 engine.
It
You
was
can't go
good.
wrong, right? It's you can't go wrong, right? It's like, I mean, you know what you're getting. It's not going to surprise you.
Well,
It's going to be
I
good,
was
you know.
surprised by how in depth it was, because there was a lot of
Mm.
cool things. There was different classes. You could make your own character. There's different classes.
Actually,
You
you know what? I
could
take that
dual
back. Yes, the
class halfway through the game. You got to dual class, which was something I
mm.
was not expecting. That was really cool.
You know what? I take that back. You're right. You remind me. I read on forums for that game. The building in that game, like, is actually proper build. Because
Yeah,
I mean, yes, you
it's
had builds in
crazy.
Borderlands 1 and 2 and shit, but like when I think of a build, right, I think of what you can do in Demon Souls or Elden Ring or Neo, right?
Yeah,
In Borderlands, it's there, but like it's very light building, right? All you really can change is your weapons, make sure they have the right stuff on the weapon, and then your skills. That's really all you can do, right? Make sure that there's a good sync. But in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, yeah, no, that shit is in depth,
yeah,
very in
it's
depth,
pretty
like
crazy.
especially for a Borderlands game for sure. Oh yeah, hell yeah. So you have a good point there. You have a good point. But yeah, no, it did great despite like just good reviews. Now it wasn't breaking no
Yeah,
tens or
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It was just good reviews, right? But apparently it sold very very well, which is great. Then they went on to Saints Row, and Saints Row was, in their words, a disappointment. They were
Mine
not
too.
they were surprised. They were
Mine was
surprised
too.
by the lack the very what they say, not cold, cool, the cool reception that the game got. So like lukewarm of sorts. And I remember reading some of the reviews. The highs I think I saw was like a 7 or a 6 or something like that from outlets. And I've seen gameplay of it too, and I'm thinking this is pretty like by the numbers. It seems very much by the numbers. It seems like it's like the heist missions in the GTA Online, but as a full game, and not online, right? And so I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I get it. And that's like I think the issue Saints Row had at the start, right? Because how do you take a game where its origins are in like dildo swords and, being naked while you do pretty much anything you want to on the streets and superpowers and how do you go from that in that time frame where we were in the world in like 2011, 13, whatever have you, to now in 2022 where we're way more PC, way more, we'll get you if you do something wrong. How do you translate that to a modern audience, but still retain that DNA, you know?
So here's an idea that I just had just off the top of my head, right? So
Oh, brain blast. We got a brain blast here.
there was a problem like that they had like the problem with the series. Their kind of question was we have taken like so originally Saints Row was supposed to be a competitor to Grand Theft Auto. That's known history, and then they
Yeah.
realized, hey, we can't really compete in this space. What can we
No.
do to be unique? And they're like, well, let's just fucking take the craziness that we kind of already
Mm-hmm.
had in 1 and 2,
Yeah.
and then just crank it up to the nth degree. And
Yeah.
so by Saints Row 5, was it 5 or 4? Anyway,
Four.
by the last Saints Row, you were, the president of the United States fighting aliens in a simulation with superpowers, and then in a spinoff, you went to hell and stuff like
Yeah.
craziness. So they were like, okay, now that we've gone literally to hell and back, we can't go any farther. So what do we do? And they did a reboot, which whatever. they could have done it well. I think if they would have gone back to like, let's say, Saints Row 3 ridiculousness and just made the graphics really good and stuff like that, and fucking had ragdolling and didn't skimp out, it could have been okay. What I think they should have done, off the top of my head, is fucking spoof Red Dead Redemption. It worked for Grand Theft Auto, for spoofing Grand Theft Auto. Spoof a fucking Western cowboy shit. Like, I think they could have done that and made like a really spoofy, like spaghetti Western, Red Dead Redemption, and called it,
that's
and
not
just
bad.
like that's what I would have done.
I don't think it would be called. I don't think it could be Saints Row.
No.
Or maybe if they did, it'd be considered a spin-off. Like Saints Row Wild West or something. It's more of a spin-off, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you could make a new IP and just be clear, like, hey, from the creators of
Saints Row, here's this.
Yeah.
Or not that. I mean, because it became a bit of a
Blue Balls Redemption or something like that.
It became a bit of a Saints Row kind of developed into a bit of a gag on GTA anyway.
It absolutely was, yeah.
So you have a good point. Yeah, they could have just continued on with that trend and like, let's take Red Dead, that cowboy aesthetic, that genre, whatever. Let's see how stupid. Like, I mean, Red Dead kind of had that with the the spaceship and shit. Let's take that, but let's make more of that throughout the whole game. Or like on the old movie, I don't know if you saw Cowboys and Aliens with Daniel Craig from like 10 years ago. But instead of being serious, it is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, and, I think they could have done that.
That would have been too bad. Or like maybe not if they want to maybe go Rockstar route. Sorry. Yeah, no, still sticking with Rockstar and LA Noire more comical thing, because that was published by Rockstar.
Or just fucking make Bully 2. Just like call it something else. Like
or a high school aesthetic one, and then
just
basically
make Bully 2, do what Rockstar
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean they I think they could have done that. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. What do
you Table Tennis 3. Fucking do it.
Rockstar Table Tennis, no. Or have that as a mini game in the school one. You could play table tennis as a mini game in the school game. So now you have like an Inception situation.
A spoofception.
A spoof mini game inside of a spoof game. But you have a good point. But either way, yeah, they did lament on how it didn't do well. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I think you guys kind of shot yourself in the water from the very beginning. When they first announced this and I saw like, that little crew, first of all, I didn't know they were going to be in the fucking game. I thought they were just characters to represent the game or whatever, the marketing. No, they're your actual crew in the game. And I was like, well, I don't like them that much to make them in the game. Like, especially some dude has a fucking bow tie on. Why would I like him? It's so they're not even like that likable of characters.
I heard the characters were kind of weak.
Yeah, they look weak. I don't even need to hear them talk or do things to have me tell that they're weak. And so yeah, it's just it. And like I said before, how do you take a game that was the antithesis of PC and you have to be catering to PC culture? You can't do that. You know what I mean? Like that's very, very tricky to pull off correctly, and obviously they couldn't. And so I think this game's a bit dead in the water. I doubt if we'll get a whole lot of post-release content for it. I don't think we should. I think they should just move on, just keep it, fix patches, maybe add ragdoll as a patch or something. But yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did see that. I was just thinking like I think we should talk about this, because honestly, I'm not surprised. I kind of almost want to say Saints Row deserves to not do well, because I just don't think I don't think we can have a game like that right now. You know what I mean? Or at least not from those guys. Maybe from someone new.
I think you could. I think games like the High on Life is going to come out here and give
I don't think that's
zero
the same,
fucks about who.
I don't think that's the same.
They're gonna do stuff. I guarantee you there's gonna be some raunchy stuff.
They will do things. They will do raunchy things, but that's not gonna be the same levels what Saints Row used to do. But anywho, I also wanted to touch on Tekken 8 got fucking revealed, properly shown off.
Yeah.
And
even if 10% of that showcase is actual gameplay,
They said it is. I listened. I read an interview with Harada,
Yeah,
the
I know.
director, and
They
he
said
said
it
it
was, but who
was.
knows? Who knows?
I don't
Like
care though. I don't
that
really
looks
care.
like when they were fighting, when Jin and
Kazuya.
yeah, Kazuya were fighting. I was like, if that's fucking what the gameplay looks like, that's a step up. Like
It is. And
that
they
looks
said that
real nice.
they completely scrapped all of the assets from the previous games and they rebuilt them all with the engine with the Unreal 5.
I didn't see my boy King in there though. Was King
Well, it
in
only
there?
showed off. It only showed off just Jin and Kazuya at
Just
the.
the family.
It was just
Whatever the
showing those
fucking
two. It was
family.
just those two. Literally just those two for like the little teaser they had.
I will see my boy King.
No, but King will be. He's been in every single one since 2, I believe. No, 1. He was in the first one.
Yeah, he was
He's
in the
been in
first one.
every single one since. Well, no, he wasn't in 2. I don't think. I think Armor King replaced him in 2.
Oh, okay. Well,
but Armor King is a different character than King. But anyways,
yes.
but he's been in almost every single one. All right, I think from 3 onwards, he has been in every single one. So don't worry, your boy King will be in there. I'm actually going to be doing another podcast, Stinger here, another podcast with our boy King Lionel Flux again, and talking about Tekken because I need to yell at him about it. Because he thinks it's an anime game, and I detest that assertion with all my heart. But also he likes Tekken as well, so we're gonna kind of talk about it. The only thing I'm gonna say here is that bring back arcade battles, proper arcade mode with cinematics when I'm done with beating with the character. They spent so much fucking time on that on the Mishima Saga Bloodline story thing where you could only play as 3 characters that probably 80% of people don't play as. And you have to fucking deal with Akuma, which I mean he was cool, but now I'm kind of sick and I'm over him like completely. Like put him back to Street Fighter and keep him there. That like they gave like no love to any other mode in the game. Whereas historically there was always a cinematic, at least a cinematic when you beat the story mode with a character, and I was taken out to replace with these stupid ass character story things where you fought like 3 people and it just kind of just put like a character with some other random character a lot of times or some these kind of funny little scenarios or whatever. And it's like that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Give me 8 battles. I fight some random final boss. Give me a cinematic that explains what the fuck they're doing here, and then move on. That's all I want. I don't know why.
When you fight when you beat it with the bear, and then like he gets introduced to like a female bear.
Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want. Give it back. Give it back, Harada. Give me that back. Yeah. So I mean, with how much time has passed between 7 and 8, I hope that has allowed them to do this, like to kind of go all out, right? So that's the only thing I'm going to say about Tekken 8 right now. But then another game got shown off that neither of us can remember the name of, because we're professionals over here at the CHG headquarters. By headquarters, I mean my toilet at the Taco Bell restaurant. I forget the name of it. It was shown off at last year's State of Play that Sony had, and it was like with this this chick. It was like a Japanese setting situation. She like had a sword and guns. It was super fast paced, super style, kind of like a DMC style, like kind of visual combat things. But it finally got shown off again, and as a name, it's like Stellar or something like that. But it was initially like Project Scarlet or something of that liking, and as you finally got a name and a title and a release date, and I am through the moon. If anyone remembers that game, please put it in the comments for everyone else to see because I don't remember what it was. And I'm not looking
Project
it up, but
Eve?
I think maybe that. But that's not. Wait, Project is that actually the name of it?
Yeah. Because you have everything at the showcase was Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Marvel 2 Spider-Man, Project Eve, Forspoken, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Vampire the Masquerade.
Yes, that is the game. Project Eve is the game, but I thought I got a Stellar Blade. Yes, what it is. That is the title
this was
of the
2021 that I was looking at. Yeah,
Stellar Blade. That is the name of the game. It finally got shown off as a release. I think of next year. Man, I am pumped for Stellar Blade. That looks dope. It's like the closest thing I can get to having Bayonetta, and I am all for it because
you do love your action adventure games with the female lead.
We may never get a Bayonetta on PlayStation.
Nope.
I mean, the director, Platinum's director, he says it's not up to him. If it was, he probably would have put it to PlayStation already or an Xbox, but he says not up to me. It's up to Nintendo if they're willing to play ball. And so Sony, give Nintendo whatever money they want. I need Bayonetta in my life. So yeah, that's the closest thing I'm gonna get to it. So I'll take it happily. So I'm pumped for that. I'm very happy for that. Shit, there was something else on my head I was gonna bring up, but I forgot what it was. Damn, I should have wrote it down. It was, oh shit, it was like a controversy of, the betting,
Oh
the
yeah,
Madden
yeah,
betting,
yeah, yeah.
the Madden betting. What do you want to discuss on the
Well,
Madden
not
betting?
the so there are two different ones. So there's the Madden boycott where
Yes.
there's been two. So now the last boycott was the fixed franchise boycott,
Wait, that's
which
a long-standing one though, isn't it?
yeah, it's been going on. It picked up steam like 2 years ago,
Yeah,
like real
yeah.
steam,
Mm-hmm.
and they added different scouting stuff that's still bad. So I don't think that I can say they fixed that because it's definitely still really bad. But the MUT community, which is the money bringers of Madden,
It should just be called the money community instead of the mutt community.
yeah,
Honestly, like
they've been upset because it seems as though the odds for the MUT packs have been reduced, had been made worse, and so there was a boycott across most of the industry, and like big streamers, big Madden, MUT
Madden streamers though,
Madden MUT
like
streamers, yeah, were
yeah.
in on the boycott. So we'll see where that goes. It's just interesting. Hopefully, you know, I don't have much hope that it's going to like change. It's not focused around the stuff that I believe in, but it is funny to see kind of MUT turn against, uh, the MUT community turn against Madden, since the MUT community is pretty much why franchise died. But I thought that was interesting. And then it leads us into the whole like online Twitch gaming scandal, which it got reintroduced into the um, limelight because there was this Twitch streamer who was like calling up other Twitch streamers and his own fans and like asking to borrow money because he had like a family emergency, or he had to fly or pay for his grandma's funeral or some shit like that. And it turned out that he was just addicted to gambling and was using the money to gamble. He wasn't. The funny thing is he wasn't a Twitch gambling streamer. He was a normal video game streamer, but it kind of gambling and Twitch got brought up in the same sentences. So then the whole online debate kind of sparked between, should Twitch allow gambling to be streamed? And so now there's another call for Twitch to ban gambling. So I was just thinking, like, what do you think about that? Like, do you think it should be streamed? Do you think there should be restrictions? Like, what
Yeah.
is your thought?
Let me run really quick for everyone else who's watching, who might watch this, back to the Madden stuff. So everyone who may not know, MUT, or Madden Ultimate Team, is a online feature, and it consists of you building your teams to go against other players' teams. But you get those teams, you build your teams by getting these boost packs, basically like Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh cards, booster packs. They're virtual booster packs, and in them, you have cards of players of different rarities. Now I don't know what the rarities do, but there's different rarities, and the ones you want to go for are the legendaries.
Yeah, you basically have shit
Um,
players that you would never use,
yeah, like their stats are
okay
bad, I imagine,
players,
or
and
whatever.
then like what you're going for the legendary players.
Kind of like a bunch of commons, in your deck that you would
Or
never
worse
want
than
to
commons, because
use.
at least commons, like in a card game, you have use for sometimes for commons. You never have use for this shit.
Okay, well, never mind. This is this is garbage. Then you have a bunch of
Yeah,
little garbage commons that you would never want, and then yeah. So same. So that's kind of what it is. But like, there's different odds, obviously, with any card based thing, and then obviously legendaries probably have much lower rate to pull. But if you buy certain packs, I believe you'll be guaranteed a legendary. I'm understood, like at least like those pre-order, when you pre-order like Madden, like you get all these Ultimate Team packs as part of your special thing with like a guaranteed legendary or whatever have you. So
yeah,
sometimes I think certain packs will have like a guarantee, certain type of card or something in there. But granted, that's how it goes. So that's like just to let everyone who may not know, Madden or Mutt or whatever. And the same thing works for FIFA. It's the exact same concept for the FIFA Ultimate Team, but they don't call it foot or FUT
No, they call
or
it FUT.
whatever. Oh, do they call it FUT? Okay, I haven't
FUT.
heard that before. Because I've heard Mutt before, but I haven't heard FUT. But
FUT
again,
Mutt.
we're lowly American, so we don't even what is soccer? What is it?
What's this? Football.
What is this football? Anyway, so that's why I wanted to just bring back on that. And again, I have nothing to say on that leg of it. It is funny. I didn't know that was the reason why franchise died. I'm not surprised that it killed franchise because obviously, yeah, franchise ain't bringing no money. But it is funny that the people who were feeling the economy of Madden are like threatening to like halt that for a time period. So that's funny. Maybe they put that effort into like if you don't give us this, or I don't like, we're gonna play franchise mode or something. If you don't fix Mutt, and then maybe they'll fix franchise mode because then they'll complain about that too. I don't know. I'm trying to give you hope, David. There's no hope. There's no hope for David. But as far as gambling, and it's funny that this came up because I had just watched. There's this channel I watch sometimes called the Illuminati, and it's like NAU, like naughty, but like it's like naughty, but then there's an I at the end instead of a Y, or yeah. And she mainly covers business stuff, which is why I'm interested. But on Monday, she does like a multi-level marketing Monday because those are very much tied to Ponzi schemes for those who don't know. And I'm interested in hearing the stories because she goes like a whole history and like what they did and blah blah blah. But at one point they went over. She actually did touch on gambling, like online Twitch gambling, and she actually brought up a few streamers who were known in that community or that space. And one of them was like Qoxity. Qoxity. It's like Qoxy, but I think it's probably for Qoxity or whatever, or toxicity, whatever. And he was brought up in the story that I read about this recent gambling thing too, because he may not have been part of that thing calling people up, but he's a big member, he's a big player in the Twitch gambling space. So obviously he was going to be in that line of fire, and stuff. So it was interesting that this came up because I was like, oh, I heard about this actually recently. But obviously this is beyond that. This is just, this dude has a external addiction to gambling, and he happens to be a streamer. And then he rounded up his fans. He took advantage of his fans and peers.
Dude, someone who was going through chemo. He took like $20,000 from a guy who was going through chemo.
There we go. Well, hey, addiction is real, man. Addiction is real.
Yeah.
And which, because of that, is why, in my opinion, I didn't even know that you could stream gambling until I watched that video. And that blows my mind. Because they're literally showing you like the wheel, like the people who have like, because they got like all the virtual assets on their screen, probably on their
it's
OBS
just like
or whatever,
streaming video games,
and they're literally just showing them gambling on the website that they're using or whatever, and showing their earnings and their winnings and all that stuff. So they are literally gambling. I mean, yes, it's not illegal. Well, in some places, I mean, gambling is already highly regulated, especially online gambling. There's some places you can't do it. Some websites you can't use or you're not supposed to use because they're illegal. At least in certain like in this country, we have some you're not supposed to use, right? And so there's already all of this. So I'm surprised that that's actually able to get shown through on Twitch in the first place, given that there's already so many restrictions when you're just doing it privately. So I don't even know if maybe Twitch has been breaking the law and didn't even know it this whole time.
I mean, they're
which
so
they
high
obviously
profile.
could have.
I doubt it.
I don't know, man. Companies slip up in the weirdest ways, in the strangest ways.
But the thing is, it's been a thing. It's been a controversy for a while. Like, this isn't new.
Well, I guess so, but it's not constantly in the limelight. I can tell you that. But yeah, in my opinion, and I know in these you have to. I mean, they do say like this is an adult stream and you have to verify your age, but like, come on, all it takes is a one little like, oops, I guess I'm 19 today. Uh-oh. That's all it takes, right? Yeah. And even if your account initially you put your age at younger, just make a new one. It's not hard. Or change, maybe you can change your age. I don't know, but I'm sure it's not hard to get in. And so because of the ease of getting into these streams, regardless of if it tells you it's 18 plus restricted or not, to me it's just asking for trouble. It's just not healthy. It's not okay. I mean, the people who are doing this are more likely than not addicted to gambling already. So you're basically seeing someone gamble their life. Take chances every second with their own
Well,
life.
like I think the more dangerous thing is that so there's two types of people in this space. There's people who work, I guess a couple, but the main two is like there's people who um, share like their earnings and losses, so like what they put in and what they get out, and they have like on the screen of what money, how much money they spent today, how much money they've lost today, and are very transparent with that. And most of the time you're going to put more money in than you get.
Well, yeah, because that's just
There
gambling in general.
Yeah, there are, but then there's other people who aren't transparent, and they're only showing, like, they're very selective of only showing their big winners and stuff like that, so they make it seem, that's what these gambling sites want. They want it to come across and get people to gamble. That's why they get this. These streamers aren't playing with their own money most of the time. Like most
yeah,
of
I know
these
that too.
streamers
Yeah, they've been
are
paid.
playing with sponsors' money, like the gambling sites that they're on's money. And then besides that of being transparent and opaque or not transparent, you also have people who are playing games of skill like poker, blackjack, whatnot. And then you have people who are just literally streaming them pressing a button to pull a electronic slot machine. So, like, in my opinion, I think at the very most, I think you should have to put your earnings and losses on screen so people can see, like, hey, this is not a way to make money necessarily. This is an entertainment thing more than it is a way to make money. And I would say I don't think, like, if I were to take it a step further, I would say only skill based stuff. So like poker, blackjack, whatever, backgammon, whatever you're gonna play, like something that's skill based, not just a slot machine or a roulette or something like that. But I think what is dangerous is, yeah, it gets kids into the space, and addicted to gambling before they've even actually fucking done it themselves. Um, and then also you got to think about people who have an addiction to gambling, and maybe they come across these streams on their recommends, because these things are recommended to fucking sky high, because Twitch sees all these viewerships, so they're going to start recommending them. So you never know when you're going to get somebody who's addicted to gambling, who's trying to kick it, and then all of a sudden sees this.
Yeah, I mean,
it's relapsed.
Obviously my biggest concerns are the people who are trying to recover from it, because I mean, shit, man, gambling is devastating. My dad, he almost, I think, bet what did he bet, like our car or something. This is back when I was like baby. My mom just told me this when I was like, he didn't even necessarily have an addiction to gambling per se. He had addictive personality, but not addicted to gambling. But like he ended up in the moment almost betting either like a car or a house or some crazy shit or whatever, But like you probably know someone or heard someone that did something crazy like that, right? And so I'm most worried about the recovering people, and also, of course, yes, children, because they're so impressionable. And in this world of of impressions, providing impressions of how things are, which is usually fake, smoke and mirrors. But these kids don't know because they're not supposed to know yet. They're only children, teenagers, right? They don't know yet. It's like, yes, it's setting a bad precedent for them. I do, having it transparent, losses and gains is nice, yes. But like to a kid, it may not be enough. I mean, for the addicts or whatever, yes, because they're usually adults who know, right? Um, but for kids, I just don't think that may be enough. What I would say is, I don't know how they would work this in their algorithm, but to make it to where any gambling stream can't be on a recommended. Like it just can't. You have to deliberately find it. And I know people who will be like, well, that's hurting my, like,
Yeah.
you decided to make your living off of a gambling. I don't have pity for you. I just don't. Like you were streaming something that is destructive at its nature, and you're most likely not even being hurt by it because, like you said, they're usually streaming with money that's provided them from the sponsor of the gambling company they're gambling with most of the time. And so they don't even have anything to lose except possibly getting an addiction themselves. So it's like, yeah, I don't have pity for you. And so fuck you for even trying to get a living off of this in this way in the first place. So that's what I would like to do, is make it to where, fix the algorithm to where if there's gambling in your title, whatever, however they would tag it internally, like in the code, make it to where it can't, you have, if you want to watch it, okay, we'll have it on the platform, but you have to look for it.
Yeah,
You cannot, it cannot hit your recommended. Anything gambling related will not hit anyone's recommended, because then it also helps the kids not possibly see it, because kids may not even be looking for it. Why would they?
Yeah.
14, 13-year-old kids who just want to see they want to see their streamer play a game. That's all they want to do. But like, if it hits their recommended, it's because it's so fucking popular. They may just click because like, oh, I don't care. I'm just click. Listen, what the hell is this? And then bam, it can start right there.
Yeah.
So I would just like to have it prevented from the start. Get it out of the recommended. It cannot be recommended to anyone's account, no matter how many times you watch this shit. It cannot hit your recommended. That's what I like to do as a step forward. I mean, I would personally like to not have it at all, because it's just addictions, whether it's gambling, drinking, smoking, whatever have you. If you're like, just to have it streamed, I just feel like it is inherently exploitative, and I'm just not down for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I would like to just leave that private. If people are going to do it, let them do it by themselves. I don't know why you would even stream that in the first place.
Get that
But
money.
so, those are my thoughts. Those are our thoughts, I should say. But yeah, let's gonna wrap up the stream here. Sorry, I was ending on a poopy note with gambling. Don't gamble, kids. Don't gamble, or gamble responsibly. I think that's what they say.
If you're gonna gamble, no, it's like I said, it's an entertainment thing. It's a fun thing to do.
It
Like,
can
you
be
have to,
fun. It can be
like,
fun.
yeah, you have to go in. Like, the one time I gambled, I went in and I had $200, and I was like, this is the money that I had for gambling. I left my wallet in the hotel room and just took $200, and I was like, this is all I got. If when I run out, I run out. And then I gave myself rules on top of those rules. So, like, if I doubled my money, then that was like my baseline. Like, I couldn't go back under 200. So I had a whole bunch of rules, but mainly I did as like, I just want to, have fun.
Yeah,
hang out with my friends.
I went once. I had even less than that. I think we had like 40 or 60 each or something crazy. But like, yeah, we left the debit cards. Well, we can't leave a wallet because my driver's license isn't there. But like, we left all the cards at home, debit, credit, all that. Leave it at the house, because then there's no way for you to get more money unless you want to go suck some dick or something. But like, that's it. You're not going to get no more money. And then, when it's out, it's out. Or if, maybe hit like, here's this high I want to go, then I'm done. I'm not going to fucking chance it. If I get this high, I'm not going to test the waters anymore. Just go cash out, whatever, get your thing. And so, yeah, it can be fun. And when you go in responsibly and you have these rules set up and you leave all your cards at home, because then you can't go over and fuck yourself royally. Because even if you do bust, it's like, okay, whatever. You kind of expected it because just all you came out with. But yeah, so gamble responsibly or none at all, people.
Yeah.
Life tips from CHG.
Yeah.
So with that, guys, wrap up this podcast here this week. Sorry we were out a couple of weeks, but it's okay. We're back. If you enjoyed this, throw a like up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these. We do this. Try to do this every Sunday. Actually, I've been releasing this on Mondays now, because Mondays have a bit more traction than Sundays do. So on Mondays, you should see this on Mondays going forward. Sometimes Tuesdays if shit goes down, but mostly Mondays. We try to do every week. Sometimes it's every other week, but we won't go too long. You won't go too long without seeing us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then hit the bell if you want to see more of it. And
comment
we will
below.
See you guys.
Let us know what you think about
below.
Gambling or the games that we talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let us know how excited you are for Chainsaw Man, and if you think it's going to be if you're just excited as David is, or how sad you are that franchise mode will never get fixed.
I have Chainsaw Man. I don't need it anymore.
So yeah, guys, thanks for joining us this time. We'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.